Jai Shri Krishna to all. Welcome to Path to Anandam Gita series. Freedom from pains and miseries to happy, healthy, and peaceful life. Based upon 108 mantras to awaken your soul. And Srimad Bhagavad Gita, my question and God's answers. Our today's series 87. Learn who gives light to sun, moon, and universe, which includes us as well. Pranam to Hariharji Maharaj. I'm Satya Kalra, your host and founder of Path to Anandam. With Guruji's blessings, we are all together. With his guidance, with Lord Krishna's guidance, whatever you see on this page, it's all their blessings, their guidance. And today's session is truly blessed by them. Who gives light to the sun, moon, and universe? What is the divine power of God? God's divine manifestation and activities. How he manifests and performs his activities. Radiance energy, the sun, moon, fire, earth, etc. How he maintains the cosmic order and nurtures all of us. Practice and homework. And our sankalpa for the week, for today, I understand God's divine power, his radiance, his brilliance, meditation, and question and answers. So let's all pray to Lord Krishna, Bhagwan Krishna Ji, for removing the confusion, delusion, vishad in us, just like he removed in Arjuna when he was in confused state. And we are the Arjuna of today. So let's all pray together for his guidance, humble and surrender. And as Arjuna, after requesting him, Lord Krishna blessed him with Bhagavad Gita, where we are all blessed here together to go through the same spiritual journey which he guided Arjuna. Where Arjuna initially said, Na jotasyati Govindam, I will not get involved, get engaged in this Kurukshetra war, the field of action, which he thought it was just the field of action. Where after listening and guided by Bhagwan Krishna Ji, he was transformed. He understood his duty and finally understood that Kurukshetra was not the Kurukshetra field of action, but it was Dharmashetra, the field of righteous action. And therefore he said, Karishe vachanam tav, I do as you advise. So let's get the same blessings from Lord Krishna here. Karpanye dosho pehte svabhava prashyami tvam dharma sammood cheta yachasaisyani nishchitam bruhitan me shishyasteham chadimam tvam prapanyam shishyasteham chadimam tvam prapanyam. My heart is overpowered by the weakness of pity. I have lost all my composure and my mind is confused about my duty, my dharma. I am requesting you to tell me what is definitely good for me. Not what am I asking, what is definitely good for me. I am your disciple. I surrender to you. Please instruct me. Please instruct me. So Hariharji Maharaj, Guruji, explained Bhagavad Gita in many different ways. Give us many different quotations, which I put it together here. That Arjuna and his divine company. So Gita is a step-by-step spiritual instruction manual to live righteously. It guides us how to know Mother Nature, the supreme goal of life, and how to attain it. Eternal happiness, peace, oneness, reach to Paramdham, and experience who we are, Satchit Anand, which is also called self-realization, while living in this material world and beyond. So blissful journey from lower self to higher self, through knowing supreme power, his divine play, his divine power, where we have learned first 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita, which talks about Karma Yoga, how to perform our righteous action. Then Bhakti Yoga, chapter 7 to 12. It's all God's Leela. Vasudev Sarvam Iti. And now we are on Gyan Yoga. True knowledge. And understand who we are. And this is a chapter 13 to 18. We learned in chapter 13, creator and creation. Who is the creator? And what did he create? He created all of us, whole universe. And what was our relationship, or what is our relationship with this body, with the current which flows within us, that Atma, and with the Supreme Atma. And then we learn in chapter 14, 3 gunas, 3 of Vibhag Yoga, which taught us that we are the Atma, the ultimate form, the Ansh of Atma, Paramatma. Then what separates us from God? And that's what our gunas, our swabhavas, our behaviors. And now we are learning, know the Supreme Personality, and then our relationship. But we really should learn who God is. He always says, Bhagwan ki Maya is God. It's all done by God, all that. But who is God? This question comes over and over and over. And in this chapter, which is the known as Pushottama Yoga, through knowing the God, supreme glory, nature, we understand who God is. And then we could relate to him more and more. So this is a summary of whole Bhagavad Gita. Through Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, we finally get out of Vishad and get the prasad of glory of God. the blessing of God. And in chapter 15, Pushottam Yogo Nam, the path of realizing God as the Supreme Self, understanding who He is. And that takes us from lower self to higher self. And it starts with Urdmulam Adya Shakham Asthat Prahurvayam, where he explains that this whole universe is originated from him, but the roots are above, because he is the Brahman, he is the supreme power. And this is the analogy here it gives, that these are the roots from, and our roots start from our mind. And then he also created the universe, which is called Brahman Lok, which is filled with our desires, our gunas, tamsik, rajasic, sattvic, which could pull us up to higher self or take us to lower self. The key here is attachment. The more attachment we have to the worldly things, the more we are of going down, lower self, with calm, krodh, low, moan, khad, diseases, all those 5+2 enemies, insomnia, immune deficiency diseases, cancer, all that. It's not that we emotionally go down, physically we go down also. But the key he gives us, just convert your attachment to disattachment, dispassion. And then we reach to the supreme powers, wisdom. So how we can get up? Major barrier going from lower self to higher self is attachment. So reaching to Param Dham, oneness, once we are on that path of dispassion, reach to the supreme power, then how does this Param Dham looks like? What are the qualities as we discussed last time? Na tad bhasate suryo na shashanko na pavka, yad gatva na nirvantante tad padam dham paramam. So this Paramam Dham, once we go there, we do not come back. In other words, we are in that status of peace. These are two, I showed it here two last time. One is which we call it a Param Dham, ultimate Dham, which many times people think that you go there after death, after doing all the sadhanas. However, in this Gyan Yoga, or in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagwan Krishna says, no, you don't have to wait until that. Through Karma Yoga, through Bhakti Yoga, and now through your wisdom, Gyan Yoga, you can attain the same peace which you will experience in Param Dham. So you will feel that love, peace, Anandam, that supreme Brahmic state. When you experience that, that is your Param Dham. And that Param Dham cannot be shined by sun, by moon, by any of the external materials, because this is your inner being, your inner happiness. In other words, you cannot gain that inner happiness through external world, only through inner being, through your inner ultimate peace. So ultimate goal, he also said that we should set the goal to get out of this, our sanskaras, our purva janmas, or karmas, or anything, any bondage we are creating, we should get the freedom from it. In other words, freedom from this coming and going back and forth, not just the birth and death, but everyday's issues. Issues will be there, but how can we learn to deal with it without getting bogged down into it? Then we can feel happiness, we feel healthy, happy, peaceful, blissful, which is attain eternal happiness. Brahmalok, this is called Brahmalok, Paramdham, Satchitanand. It has many, many terminologies, vocabularies. You can choose anyone you like, but ultimately, when you feel totally connected with Supreme Power. So now, as you see, I put it on the top, 15th grade. We are in 15th chapter, 15th grade. And this is the mode like we have already graduated. And now we are in the PhD program. And why I'm saying PhD program, it's just we understand that worldly language more. So we are in the higher education. Very simply, we can say that. So now, here we learn that the supreme power is higher self, Brahmalok. This is where it shows the Brahmalok. And then here is this is the Brahmanlok, and this is the Brahmalok. Brahmalok, where is the created by, Prakriti is created by Brahmaji. So this is called Brahmalok. Brahmanlok, which is the superior, which is the highest. And the lowest one, which is where one is in Vishad. So this is a Vishad Lok. I would say this is a Vishad Lok. This is the Raisik Lok, where full of desires. And this is a higher, which is a Sattvic world, where one reaches to the Brahman. But here, Lord Krishna is giving the glory of his radiance. He's trying to relate now this world with these three lokas. You can see that the roots are up. This is the top of the top. Then this is the middle, Bhuloka, where the Raisic nature people, where most of the people are in Raisic nature like us, try to go to the upper level through the Sattvic practicing sadhana and living in a Sattvic nature. But many of them do not understand that and live in ignorance, tamasic. And then they do all kinds of activities, which not only take them to birth and death, but also to the animal kingdom. This is a human kingdom. This is the animal kingdom, where people live like animals. And this is the Supreme Dham, on the path to Supreme Dham. So this is the glory of God's radiance, where starting on this verse, but basically it says, Yad ditya gatam tejo, jagad bhasyate khilam, yach chandramasi, yach agnayo tatejo, vidid mamkam. The brilliance in the sun, which brightens the whole universe, the brilliance in the moon, the radiance in the moon, and also the brilliance in the fire comes only from me. And then he says, Gama Vishcha Bhutani Dhare Ami Motsa Pushrami Choshadi Sarva Soma Bhutva Rasatmaka. Penetrating the earth, I support all beings with my vital energy. And becoming the moon, Soma, I nourish all the plants. So what Bhagwan Krishna is saying here is, look, you see this sun, moon, fire, all those things you see. This is the Brahmalok, this is the Bhulok, where we reside. which is filled with Rasik Swabhava, passion, lot of desires, filled with birth and death. This all, sometimes we say, where did the light in the Surya comes? And sometimes, when you talk to little kids and they always ask these questions, who is God? How does the sun shines? How does the moon shines? And this is a beautiful answer where he says, the sun you see, all is my manifestation. Moon is my manifestation. Agni, the mother earth, this is all, whole Prakriti is my manifestation. And all the energy, the divine power I have given to Surya Bhagwanji. Now, Surya Bhagwanji, not only he got the divine power, he got the guidance from him. Where he said in chapter 4, I had given this wisdom to Surya. Surya Bhagwanji has given to his son Manu, and Manu had given this to his son. And finally, when this tradition of transferring this information, this wisdom from father to son stopped, that's where adharma appears. And this adharma is, people do not understand. They just start living in passion. So Bhagwan, son, God's son, he took that wisdom from Bhagwan, Krishna Bhagwanji so seriously that he totally became selfless. And he kept giving this light to the universe. Day and night did not stop even for a 0.0001 second. That's why the whole universe radiates of God's radiation through sun. Now sun gives, and when moon comes in front of sun, moon does not have its own light. Whenever it is in front of sun, it comes. And then whenever it doesn't come, then the darkness comes and it keeps going down. So it depends on the rotation of Mother Earth and all that relationship which we all knew that. And this is called full moon, and that also Amavasya, where is a dark moon, or basically we cannot see it. But this is all coming from sun. So sun is the one who is, can you imagine when there is no sun for a few days, few months, all the plants will die. We could not breathe. Air would be very impure, because sunlight is the one which eliminates, which kills all the germs in the air and all that, it makes it pure. So impure air, everybody gets sick. So the power of this sun's radiance, which Bhagwanji gives, no other than that. That's my power, my divine Shakti, my radiance, my brilliance. And that brilliance, whether it is goes to the moon, and then it goes to the Agni, the heat in the Agni, the shine in the Agni, that Jyoti. He says it's all mine. So the whole galaxy, there is many, many moons, many, many suns in the universe. The whole galaxy, stars are all illuminated by supreme power, no other than God. That's what we need to understand. And then he says what it does. Gama Vishisa Bhutani Dhare Ami Motsa, penetrating the earth. So this light, when I penetrate through the sun to this earth, then my vital energy penetrates into moon. And what does moon does? It nourishes all the plants. So you can see the sun. Here is the moon, and moon is also nourishing all the plants. Mother Earth, sun and moon are nourishing Mother Earth. Mother Earth is nourishing plants. But it's specifically, it says the moon, with the moonlight, it says Soma Bhutva Rasatmika, that Amrit. You know, we look at in the it is mentioned in the our Atharva Veda. Ayurveda is mentioned in the Atharva Veda. And that's where it says the moonlight. That's where you see the lot of Ayurveda focuses so much on the full moon night. There are special prayers for that because it nourishes, it gives the amrit, the rasatma into the plants. So here is one thing we have to know, that look at the relationship of sun and moon. See, when there is a sun, everything is shines. But when the moon dasha changes, whether it's the full moon or the no moon, amavasya, what happens? It is known in the, I basically learned about this in the geographical class when I was in high school, that when there is a full moon, then Jwar Bhata comes. That, what is Jwar Bhata? That is the extra energy in the ocean, and the waves go up and down, and the whole water gets raised in ocean. And it's not only happens in ocean, it impacts our body because our body is filled with water. It's 70+% is water. So that affects our emotions also. And that's what they say during the full moon, people are more emotional. And that's why there are a lot of meditations and prayers at the full moon night. And similar to the Amavasya. So moon reflects the energy in the plants, energy on the earth, the energy within us and in the ocean. So we all relate to it. But what God is saying here, He's saying that, look, I am present in every particle in the world, whether it's the sun or moon or Mother Earth. And also, with my glory, with my potency, the things move, like, as I mentioned, the plants get nourished. So in other words, he says, I am omnipresent and omnipotent, where we learn that God is everywhere. God is in kan kan mein, chan chan mein, in Bhakti Yoga. That's why it says Vasudev Sarvamiti. God is everything. Here he's further explaining that, look, I am present. I'm omnipresent and I'm omnipotent. So this supreme power, that cosmic sustainer, that omnipotent power of his, present in everywhere. Now he is giving the further, another example, and his example and proof of his manifestation. He says, Aham Vaiswanara Bhutva, Praninam Deham Ashrita, Prana and Apana Samayukta, Pachamanyam Chaturvidham. Actually, this is a food prayer. Why it is a food prayer? Because here it is, I am the fire of digestion. Vaiswanara, seated in the body of all beings. And by uniting with vital breath, here it says Praninam Dehamashita, Prana and Apana, incoming and outgoing, inhalation and exhalation. I digest the 4 kinds of food. So what is this Vaiswanara? What is he talking about? He says this cosmic form of digestion, digestive power. When we eat the food, there is some Shakti, divine Shakti, which help us to digest that food. And he says, that is the digestive power I am. And then he relates to it, the digestive power. Here you can see the stomach and you can see this is, but the fire in the belly, it's many times you hear the fire in the belly also. It's right here, that fire. I am the one, that fire. But he also relates with the cosmic digestive fire. What does it mean? We learn in chakras, the third chakra, the element of third chakra is fire. We learn that fire in the belly over there. It gives us courage. Also, when it is imbalanced, we have a lot of desires. We live in Raisic nature, but when we balance it, we go to the next level, to the heart chakra and throat chakra, and all those 7 chakras come in the picture. It takes us to higher self. We reach to the highest level through the sattvic, imbalancing our energy. In other words, by doing the sadhana, living in a sattvic nature, we uplift ourselves. So with the cosmic digestive fire, burns all the unduly worldly desires. So when we balance the third chakra, it takes us from passion to dispassion. It burns our worldly disasters, worldly desires, which creates the disaster in our life. And if you remember, there is another verse in Bhagavad Gita, Brahma Arpanam, Brahma Havir, Brahma Agnayo, Brahma Hutam, Brahmevaten Gantavyam, Brahma Karm Samadhina. And that verse, these 2 verses go together for when we eat the food. So first one is Brahma Arpanam, second one is Vaiswanara Bhutva. So what does Brahma Arpanam here? Everything is Havan, everything is offered to God. And here it says that if you have desires that the Havan, that the digestive power I have, it's not I only digest your food, but I also digest all of your desires and convert those into your dispassion. In other words, you gradually move from the worldly desires to the supreme desires. And then he says, I digest all 4 kinds of food. Here it says all. What he mean by 4 kinds of food? He's trying to guide us that doesn't matter what you eat, whether you eat the chewable food like chapatis, bread, whatever we chew with our teeth, or we just drink like liquid juices, water, milk, whatever, all the liquidy food. And also the food, koshanya, this is called koshanya. And this is sucked food, which is like, my favorite one is mango. Okay, so to me, everything, when it comes to sucking, it comes the mango in example for me. And then there is another one, like which we licked, like honey, or sometimes we lick with our fingers and things like that. All the food which is lickable is, I digest all these 4 type of food. So in other words, again, all the digestive power, I am that digestive power. In other words, I am in kan and chan. Doesn't matter whether it's the energy, whether you can touch it, anything you can see it, you can touch it, but what you can feel it, I am also there too. So in your feelings, in your all these senses, I am there. It's just that we have to make sure to understand he is there. So now is the time to practice. Practice what? See and experience God's existence everywhere. Vasudev Sarvamiti. God. Kan kan mein, chan chan mein. That's what we have to. And once we do that, We become aware of it. We will become aware of our behavior. We become and do the actions righteously, and seeing and experiencing God. We will do that. Automatically, we will experience His presence everywhere. And then we can go beyond our miseries and pains and reach to the Param Dham, where nobody can return back. In other words, you're always in that blissful state. This is how Bhagwan Ji says you will turn into Jeev Atma to Paramatma, man to God, to Brahman, all the way. So practice our Sakshi Bhav, witnessing from the morning before we go to the bed. So start our day with our sadhana. It could be reading Bhagavad Gita, could be doing your mantra, whatever resonates with you, which could be Om mantra, which is, as I said, my favorite one. And then take care of your physical body with exercises, and then connect with yoga, with pranayama, purify your breath. And by the way, when we take this deep breath, that purifies our third chakra. And that's why in the meditation, you hear me saying all the time, take the breath all the way down to your stomach. And then why? Because it purifies our third chakra, and also it creates dispassion, removes our worldly desires, and take us to the sadhana. And then with meditation and prayers, and continue to practice whatever we need to practice during the day, whatever behavior we want to change. And then we do our meditation, and then at the end we surrender. Sarva dharman paritajya. Mamekam sharanam braj. Aham tvam sarpapebhyo mokshashyami ma shuchi. Don't worry about it. Do everything for me to serve this creation. Your action will automatically become your dharma, righteousness. So don't worry about it. I am with you. This is my promise to you. I will take care of you. So our homework time here is become Sakshi. Live in awareness. Live in peace. You will reach to Param Dham, but we have to know we must have our supreme goal of self-realization, oneness, reaching to Param Dham. And be aware of our behavior and qualities. So ask that question. What am I attached to? As I said, make the list of it, and little by little work on it. Do I surrender? Because that's what Lord Krishna says in this chapter, especially surrender, surrender, surrender. So it's telling us to start surrendering if you have not started. Do I see God everywhere? Do I experience Him? Do I kan kan mein, chan chan mein? This is my favorite word and phrase. Substitute practices, regular practices with spiritual practices, and live in mindfulness of. So continue to do this inquiry, and continue to progress as Swami Vivekananda says, arise, awake, and stop, not till the goal is reached. So be, in other words, stay on this sadhana. So our sankalpa is, I understand God's divine power. I know the supreme goal of my life, which we already have that sankalpa. I understand God's divine power, and I am at the eternal home last week. So here it comes. So be patient, but have a sankalpa, and by little, shanai shanai uppar mein, buddhya buddhi kreta, atma sanshay, always live in that consciousness. So atma sanshay mana kratva kinchit api chintet. So put your mind, your soul, all of your action in one direction to fulfill your goal. And anytime there is a confusion, then Gita's teachings are there. So just by putting the seed of what is the purpose of my life, ultimately the fruit will come. And happy, healthy, and peaceful life living in this world and also experiencing who am I? I am Sat Chit Ananda. So thank you very much for attending the session. Who gives light to sun, moon, and universe and me? How to see the glory of supreme power. And once we start seeing it, experiencing it, then we are free from pains and miseries and experiencing I am Sat Chit Ananda.